So, the big question at the end of The Invisible Man is, well, technically there's a few, so let's tackle them one by one. Please be sure to give the video a thumbs up, guys. It really does help the channel. Please and thank you. I'd say the biggest one is Cecilia insane, or is there really an invisible man? In these kind of movies, the rule of thumb is that if there's one character witnessing something supernatural, there's a good chance that that person could be suffering from delusions, and they're basically an unreliable narrator to the story.
This isn't real.
What is real?
You got it. No.
And maybe what we're just seeing is their one point of view. If that's the case, what we look for in scenes are basically a narrative shift away from the protagonist that goes to another character's point of view to see if they can see the supernatural event as well.
What the hell is going on?
Preferably when they're away from the main character, so we know for sure that we're not seeing the inside of their delusion.
Please tell me you're seeing this too.
Now, for the Invisible Man, I would say that everything leading up to her being detained at the police station could be argued as being delusional in that way. For example, I'll just list it off. The stove catching fire, the footprints on the sheet, the portfolio missing at the interview, her being drugged, the reappearing medicine bottle, the email to her sister, her punching Sydney in the face, the phone in the attic, the death of her sister. All of it could be explained in a courtroom by a judge simply saying she did it herself. And you know what? It would fly. It's not until the Invisible Man takes down a bunch of cops that the wall between truth and deception comes crumbling down. I mean, yeah, sure, maybe Cecilia pulled a Linda Hamilton and single-handedly took out all the guards, but I find that incredibly hard to believe. Furthermore, beyond the cops as witnesses, we have her niece Sydney and her brother-in-law James witness the Invisible Man when Tom dons the suit and invades the house. And then finally, the cherry on the cake is in the final confrontation when Adrian says to Cecilia, "I am the only one in the world that can help you, because I'm the only one that knows you." That shouldn't come as a surprise. Yeah, it's super hammy, but you know what? In the movie, it worked.
Surprise.
Because they use that whole surprising again and again. It's fine. It's fine.
Surprise.
And yes, if this film makes a lot of money, it would not shock me at all if they opted to make her the villain in the sequel and retcon everything in the movie by saying that she was the Invisible Man all along, that, you know, she was delusional and she planned to kill Adrian and Tom and her entire family, and you know, she did take out all of those guards at the police station. You know, she somehow had Tom try and kill Sydney and James, and Adrian, you know what, he really wasn't such a bad guy. That is something that Blumhouse would try to do in a sequel. You could take a look at Fantasy Island if you don't believe me about how fast and loose they can go with the narrative just for the sake of making a movie. But I hate that idea. And like saying the Joker movie took place inside his mind, inside of a padded cell, is the entire movie and none of it happened. It's just an awful concept that they use in movies. It cheapens all the goodwill put forth by the movie. And yeah, so at the end of the day, I'm going to say no. She's not crazy. She might have some really bad anxiety, some PTSD caused by her, you know, abusive husband, but otherwise, I would say that she's of sound mind. Next question. Who is the man behind the suit? Now, for the most part, it's Adrian Griffin, her husband. The only time it isn't is when the Invisible Man goes to kill Sydney and James. In that case, to ensure that the Invisible Man got there in time before Cecilia does, Tom is already at the house. It's kind of a cool twist. It reminds me a little bit of the Scream franchise in that they realize that to make it plausible, there has to be more than one killer, because one killer can't be everywhere at the same time. Beyond that, the rest of the film is pretty simple, guys. Cecilia puts on the suit that she hid earlier in the movie, comes back outside, kills Adrian in what appears to be a suicide, but also mirrors the way that her sister was killed. James, who is a cop, and it works out, is left to explain the mess to the other cops, and you know, Cecilia, she just ups and goes. You know, she's out there. I guess she's, you know, they're setting her up to go on more adventures. You know, maybe she'll go raise her kid. Maybe she'll put Sydney through a good college. I know she wants to go to fashion school. Who knows? There's definitely a few questions that the movie straight up does not answer, and for the most part, that's fine. It's incidental. Things like, did she ever get the $5 million after all the dead bodies hit the floor? You know, did she keep the baby, or the police, or, you know, maybe even the government going to track her down because she has this technology, or simply because, you know, she was in police custody and she broke out. So typically, You know, whether or not you're guilty or not, when you break out of a police station, they're going to send people after you. Comment down below on what you think should happen in a potential sequel, and you could win a PS4. Wouldn't that be a surprise? Haha. I'll show myself out. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I've been John. You've been burned. Give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment down below, and we will see you next time.
Surprise. Surprise. Surprise.
Surprise, Sydney.